The princess's marriage to the lion. Once upon a time, there was a great king who ruled a large kingdom. This king loved to hunt, and he had a single, beloved daughter whom he cherished deeply. He always instructed his servants to take good care of her, and he often spent long periods on hunting trips before returning to the palace. On one occasion, as he was leaving for a hunting trip, he bade farewell to his daughter, the princess, urging her to take care of herself until his return. He also told the servants to look after her until he came back. He asked his beautiful princess, "What would you like me to bring you this time?" She replied, "Nothing, father. I only want you to return safely." But the king insisted that she ask for something, assuring her he was ready to bring her anything. Finally, she agreed and asked him to bring her a blue bird. She then said goodbye, praying for his safe return. The king set off on his hunting trip, crossing forests, plains, and valleys, hunting many animals and gazelles. On his way back, he remembered his beautiful little princess's request and decided to look for the blue bird to bring to her. He began searching among the trees, in the plains, valleys, and mountains, but he couldn't find any trace of it. Then he started asking everyone he met on the road until he finally met an old man. He asked him, "Excuse me, old man, where can I find the blue bird? I have searched for it a lot and haven't found any trace." The old man replied, "You have a long journey ahead to find the bird. It lives in the dark forest and only comes out at night because the forest is heavily guarded and no one can enter it. If you are determined to go there, I advise you to be very careful. There are many guards, and all of them are fierce beasts." The king and his entourage set off for the dark forest and traveled for a long time until they reached its edges. Their strange sounds stopped them, filling them with surprise and fear. But the king was determined to enter the forest and face the dangers to bring the bluebird to his daughter. The king carried his sword and took a group of soldiers with him. They approached the forest, entered, and walked among the trees, searching for the blue bird. Suddenly, the bird appeared on a tree, sleeping. They threw nets at it and caught it. Then they quickly left the forest and set off on their way, but soon they heard a voice calling from behind them, "Stop!" The king looked and saw a lion chasing them. The lion said to them, "You entered the forest without permission, and you hunted the blue bird and took it without permission. Now that I have caught you, your punishment will be death by my hand." The king replied, "We reached the forest and didn't find any guards. We only heard strange sounds and saw no one. We entered and still found no one. I took this bluebird to fulfill a promise I made to my daughter, the princess. How can I break my promise?" Then the lion said, "Fine, I will give you this chance, but on one condition." The king asked about the condition, and the lion said, "I want you to marry your daughter, the princess, to me." The king was surprised by the lion's request and replied, "How can I marry my daughter to a lion? This is unreasonable." The lion retorted, "So you refuse my request? This forces me to attack you. Get ready to die." He was about to attack them, but the king stopped him and said, "I accept the condition." Then the lion left and returned to the forest. The king returned from his hunting trip, and the princess was delighted by his return. The king then took out the blue bird and said to her, "Here is your gift, my beautiful princess." The princess was very happy with the bird, quickly took it to her room, put food and water for the blue bird, and enjoyed its chirping and singing. The next morning, the princess sat talking with her father, the king. She noticed a hint of sadness on the king's face. The princess asked the king what was making him sad. The king didn't want to upset his daughter, the princess, so he told her, "It's nothing. I'm tired from the hunting trip and need some time to rest." But the princess was not convinced by the king's answer to her question. Nevertheless, she smiled at her father and left. In the evening, while the princess was sleeping, a sudden, powerful sound came from afar, so loud that it shook the foundations of the palace. The princess rushed to her father to ask what was happening. He told her it was the sound of a lion, and the king began to tell the princess what had happened at the forest and informed her that he had made a promise to the lion to marry his daughter, the princess, to the lion. The princess was silent for a moment, then she raised her head and said, "Father, a free man's promise is a debt, and do not fear for me from the lion. Things will be fine, God willing, and I am confident that it will be easy." The princess sat in her room, thinking about her fate. Suddenly, the blue bird called out to her and asked, "What is wrong, princess? You look sad, unlike your usual self." She told the bird that her father had promised her in marriage, but her husband would be a lion. The blue bird said to her, "Don't worry. I know the reason. He is an enchanted prince, and I am his younger brother. If you want to help me, we can return to our true forms." The princess said without hesitation, "Yes, of course, I will help you." The bird said, "Then let's begin. First, ask the guards to gather a lot of firewood and logs and to light a strong fire around the palace. Ask one of them to bring you a barrel of water and put salt in it. When the lion approaches the palace, he will find the fire and won't be able to get close. He will get angry and furious and will keep roaring until he falls unconscious. Order the guards to drag him inside the palace and pour the salt water on him. Also, put a little water on me. This way, the enchantment on both my brother and me will be broken." The princess was very happy and began to carry out the plan. She called the guards and soldiers and ordered them to light a fire around the palace and fill a barrel with water, adding salt to it. A short while later, the lion arrived, furious. When he saw the fire, his anger intensified, and he began to roar and roar until his strength failed, and he fell to the ground unconscious. The princess then ordered the guards to drag him inside and pour the water on him. She took a little water and gave it to the blue bird. Moments later, the lion woke up in the form of a handsome young man, and beside him stood his younger brother. The princess was very happy, and the king rejoiced, and happiness filled the royal palace. The king gave an order to hold celebrations throughout the kingdom to celebrate the marriage of the princess to the lion prince, and they lived a happy life. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any new content.